Episode 226, AI Risks in Warfare.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Power without conscience. That's how Cordula Droege, Chief Legal Officer of the International Committee of the Red Cross, described the urgent need for serious guardrails around military use of artificial intelligence. Speaking at the United Nations Security Council during the 80th General Assembly, she called on nations everywhere to put regulation and human-centred control at the heart of AI in warfare and not wait until it's too late. Because when it comes to technology that decides life and death, the stakes could not be higher. Hello and welcome back to AI6, the podcast that keeps you up to speed with the lightning speed changes in artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Joanne Sweeney. So let's hear from Cordula Droege. She says we cannot let AI be deployed on the battlefield without oversight and regulation.
We have identified 3 applications of AI in the military domain that pose significant risks. AI in autonomous weapon systems, in military decision-making, and in information and communication technologies. AI increases the risk that human users will be unable to understand, predict, and control the weapon's effects, making it indiscriminate and unlawful under international humanitarian law. Their speed and scale, exacerbated by automation bias, might lead to simple rubber stamping, replacing human judgment rather than supporting it. Mr. President, the claim that new weapons will be more humane, less lethal, more precise, has been made by all promoters of new technologies on battlefields for as long as the ICRC can remember. Chemical weapons were advertised as more benign than artillery in the First World War. Blinding laser weapons as less lethal than bullets in the 1980s. But this is not what we have seen historically, and it is not what we are seeing now. The qualities advertised in new technologies have led not to precision, distinction and precaution, but to acceleration, amplification and escalation of destruction. The lesson is clear. We must not allow these systems to continue to be developed without oversight and regulation, based on a realistic assessment of their compliance with international humanitarian law. So I will close with 2 requests. First, to conclude as soon as possible a treaty on autonomous weapon systems, and second, to adopt a human-centered approach to military AI to ensure that human control and judgment are preserved in all decisions that pose risks to the life and dignity of people affected by war.
The key arguments made in her speech at the 80th General Assembly identifies 3 major military AI risks. Autonomous weapons, so that means weapons that can operate autonomously without human oversight. AI-driven military decision-making, again, that is decisions being made by bots and not army bosses. And then AI-enabled cyber capabilities, each of which pose significant dangers such as loss of human control, automation bias, indiscriminate attacks, and ultimately civilian harm. Her speech also pointed to historical claims that new weapons enhance compliance with international humanitarian law or reduce civilian harm. And she says that they have consistently been proven false. She says that AI weaponization leads to escalated devastation and suffering, not greater precision or humanity. Droege underscores a critical need for sober, evidence-based regulation of military AI, warning against a repeat of past mistakes where technological promise overshadowed ethical responsibility. And she makes appeals to the world. She calls on states to adopt a legally binding agreement that prohibits and restricts autonomous weapon systems, aligning them with humanitarian law and ethical standards. Droege insists on a human-centred approach to military AI, demanding that human judgment and accountability are maintained in decisions with life or death consequences. Her speech concludes by urging and asking for structured international discussions both in the Security Council and the General Assembly to ensure responsible, regulated use and deployment of military AI technologies. And she quotes General Bradley's famous line about brilliance without wisdom, power without conscience, emphasising that nations are at the ethical crossroads as AI moves onto the battlefield. And it's worth remembering that Droge's speech and her warnings come against the ICRC's 160 years of witnessing the impact of new warfare and technologies. So, my friends, they are worth listening to. If you enjoyed this episode of AI 6, please share it with a pro that you know. If you want to get a copy of my new book, AI Playbook, check out aimarketingplaybook.ie, or you can find it on Amazon if you're an international listener. That's it for today's show. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.